Hey everyone and welcome back. In today's video, we will be discussing about the DevOps mindset. Now, understanding the DevOps mindset is very important since we are preparing for the AWS DevOps Professional exam. Now, one of the very interesting things about this word DevOps is that if in a room, if you ask 10 people about the DevOps as a word, what exactly it means, you will get 10 different definitions. And this is the reason why understanding the DevOps mindset is really interesting to learn. So let's go ahead and understand more about the DevOps as a culture approach. Now, DevOps basically it refers to a cultural change that promotes the good relationship, or I would say a collaborative relationship between the development and the IT operations team with a single goal to deliver the stable application at a quicker pace. Now we will understand this definition with a simple example. So whenever a requirement comes up, requirement to develop an application, what happens is the requirement first comes to the development team. Now the development team will take the requirement and convert it into the software. Now once the software is built, the development team will give it to the operations team. Operations team's responsibility is to put it into the servers, and once it into the servers, it becomes a service which is being used by the customers. Now, one of the challenge in this type of approach is that developer would build their software in laptops and they would give the software which has been built in laptop, which has been tested in laptop, to the operations team who would be testing or I would say who would be building that software in the servers. Now, due to the configuration difference between the laptop's operating system, the laptop's version of the application, and the server version, the server operating system, the chances are that the application, when moved to the live production server, it will break. And this is the reason why the development team and the operations team do not really have a good relationship. Because once the development team hands over the software to the operations team and operations team puts that software into the server, the application would break. And this is the core challenge that was being faced by many of the organizations. And this is the reason why DevOps as a culture was introduced. So let's go ahead and understand more about it. So we'll understand this with an example where you have a requirement and the requirement is basically to develop a chat application. Now what developer will do? Developer will write a software in Java which basically is a chat based application, and they will test it in the local laptop. Now this is the developer's work. Now when it comes to the ops team, the IT ops team, they have a lot of things to do. So since this is a software which is written in Java, first they have to architect the infrastructure in AWS. They have to make sure that the servers are highly available. So if one server goes down, the entire chatting application might go down. So they have to make sure that the servers are highly available. Maybe they might have to create a MySQL replication clusters because the chatting application is going to store data. They are going to store messages. So maybe database will be used. They have to find a way in which they want to push the software given by developers to the production environment. They have to make sure that everything is secure, and definitely they have to make sure that everything is operational. Now in this type of scenario, one of the challenges that many of the organization faces is that developers have immense pressure to deliver new updates to the applications which has been built. And the major challenge of the operations team is to make sure that whatever code that goes into the production is stable. So these are the two challenges which have been faced, and this is the reason why you might find that the developer and operations team are not really a good friends. So what DevOps as a culture promotes is that if operations team can give developer an environment where the developer can quickly test the code in such a way that if they test the code in a certain environment, it is guaranteed to work in a production environment without any issue. If a ops team can give a feedback to the developer regarding the latency, regarding the issues related to the various application related APIs, then developer would be able to quickly solve the issue while it has been tested in the development or maybe staging environment. And this methodology in which the developer and operations team work together in such a way that they can build a faster, more stable software is basically the DevOps methodology. Now, one of the key aspect in DevOps approach is automation. So basically it is necessary to automate most of the things. So basically you automate infrastructure provisioning. So you write infrastructure as a code based solutions. You automate the software deployment process through maybe continuous integration, continuous delivery. You automate the security part, you automate the testing part. Basically, you automate everything in such a way that developer have a seamless experience to move their code from local laptop to the live environment without much of a hassle. And even operations team, they don't really have to do manual work to configure the server. So it should not be like a developer wants to put an application into the production environment and the operations team says, all right, I'll need 1 week to create the server. That should also not happen. And this is the reason why automation of all the aspects is very much required. So this is a very high level overview about the DevOps methodology. Now, one of the most important part in DevOps is the continuous integration and continuous delivery, which is CI/CD. And I'm sure that you have already heard about CI/CD and probably you already know. So what we'll do in next video, we will have a high level overview about continuous integration, continuous delivery and its importance in the DevOps approach. So I hope this video has been informative for you and I look forward to see you in the next video.